Shalom, shalom, Akim. It's Brother Shalom. You're coming with a quick lesson. I was on TikTok earlier, watching videos, and on TikTok earlier looking at some videos, and I came across this video from it's called Culture Cantoons. You brothers go look at them. They do a lot of different like conspiracy and so-called aliens and different. It's a different kind of platform, and it's these brothers. You can't see them right now. It's some Edomites right here, but it's these Jake's brothers that actually run the whole thing. Now, I was inspired to do a lesson off this because Jake can never take nothing serious, man. When Esau can be literally right in front of your face telling you, I'm going to kill you, that all types of calamities going to happen, Jake can't take nothing serious, man. Our people are literally ripe for the slaughter, man. But before I get into that, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahat Rakak Wadash. I want to say double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us truth and rule well. Shalom to you, Akim, is pushing a rock to the four corners of the earth, trying to seal the elect. Shalom to the elect, and shalom to all those that are looking at different tongues. They're speaking in different tongues and looking like in different nations, but they are from the house of Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, so I'm gonna play a little of this video, and then I'm gonna bring some precepts. And this is the first video. It's a 3-part video, so it's not they're not too long. But I just want to show you how Jake can never take nothing serious. Jake is always doubtful. Jake is always doubtful of something when it's right in front of your face that the New World Order is being put together as we speak. We know that America's on the verge of a major civil war, a major crisis between the left hand and the right hand side. We know that we have pestilences that are on an uptick. We have, famines on an uptick. We have shortages of all types of things. We have inflation in all types of sectors of the economy, and in every kind of industry, right? But Jake takes nothing seriously, man. Jake takes nothing seriously. Let me do not disturb. All right, so I'm gonna play a little of this video, and I'm gonna pause in between just to bring out some precepts. But here we go.
Get into is how FEMA has been building camps or concentration camps / death camps to start imprisoning American citizens and killing them off if need be when the New World Order comes in.
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
When the New World comes in and basically establishes martial law within the president and stuff like that.
The first thing right there, Jake, he says what he says, right? And it's been proven that they do have, matter of fact, I'm gonna let it play for a little bit. It's been proven that they did mass produce these large black coffins that are like outside of Atlanta in certain cities like Seattle, on the east and west coast, and also down south.
That here in America as well. So have any of you heard of like those big boxes, like the big black coffins that are sitting outside of Atlanta, Georgia?
No.
I know what you're talking about.
Tell me about the big black coffins.
So there's about 500,000 black plastic coffins sitting outside of Atlanta.
It's dangerous territory right there.
Right.
Might want to watch your ass.
Yeah. So about 500,000 or so that are just sitting out there or anything of the sort, and there's speculation that these will be used once the death camps are set in place, and they'll just start throwing people in there or anything.
No.
Like the ones right there that you see on the left right there.
Those look like damn Tupperwares.
At the end of the day, that's basically all there is, and there's like 500,000 of them out that are just sitting out there.
See, that's the problem with Jake right there. Everything is a joke to Jake, man. Everything is a joke. Everything is a complete joke, man. I'm actually going to just read the scriptures to y'all and said, I don't want to mess up the place. Matter of fact, I don't think it'll mess it up. Let's see if I can go. It'll go right back to where I left off. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go to the scriptures real quick. All right. And I'm going to go to, let's see. I'm going to go to the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. And I'm pretty sure all brothers know this. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, I will also forget thy children. And literally, our people are so destroyed. Our people are so privy to, things that mean nothing, like clothes, fashion, music. I'm not saying these things aren't good for entertainment, but these things mean nothing, right? Our people are so quick to do something evil, learn how to get the next lick, learn how to mess with the next dude's bitch, learn how to do all these evil and corrupt things, man. But our people are so destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We don't even seek knowledge. For it's the year 2022, and this whole conspiracy, this whole conspiracy with the whole coffins thing has been out for the past couple of years that we've all known about the FEMA camps. I'm pretty sure a lot of you brothers have put up videos on the FEMA camps and, you know, what's to come in the very near future during Jacob's trouble. But our people are just like, man, whatever. I don't believe that shit. You know. Matter of fact, while I'm here, I'm gonna grab one more precept and I'm gonna go back to the video. Go to Isaiah chapter 5. And it's basically saying the same thing. It's verse 13. It says, therefore, my people are going into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. You know, because our people are so laden with iniquity, man. We're so quick to do something evil, man. We're so quick to be in the folly of things, man, to always want to be in mirth, you know, instead of understanding who your enemy is and who's out here killing you, man. Throughout history, you know, especially in our captivity, man, and Deuteronomy 28 and 68, Heavenly Father literally let us know that we had enemies. We would be sold unto our enemies. And to this day, our people do not want to look at the so-called white man or all these other nations, according to Psalms 83, that had a hand, that came together in that crafty council, that had a hand in our destruction, man. Our people are so quick to accept, you know, being at the end of the totem pole and being oppressed, but they're not privy to the understanding that these people are out here trying to kill you, man. And who do you think these FEMA camps are for, man? Now, mind you, that's down in Atlanta, Georgia. You know, that's down in Atlanta, Georgia. The demographic down south is what? Mainly you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, but mainly you Jakes, man. You Southern Kingdom. And you think the so-called white man ain't ready to, he ain't got, especially the men of the Lord, he ain't got, names, lists and names of people who are the first targets, man. They got us color coded, man. But let me get back to this article. Get back to the video. Listen up.
FEMA gets all of its money from the federal government, right, at the end of the day. And there's also speculation that they receive part of the black box budget that the government has, which is all top secret. It is not reported out to the public at what that money is spent. And what the people believe that is being done with that black box budget is recommissioning old demilitarized military bases at the end of the day and turning those into the concentration camps and death camps.
Not to mention, you know, even though he said demilitarized bases and stuff, but not to mention, remember what happened to all the Kmarts? What happened to all the Kmarts? I think there's only like 3 running Kmarts in America, but all those other buildings, what are they using them for, man? They're going to be repurposed as FEMA camps, and not to mention Walmarts. Not to mention Walmarts, which in reverse is marked law, you know? But our people are so destroyed for a lack of knowledge and never wanting to expand on their knowledge that they can't even fathom this. These brothers just straight laugh like, nah, fuck out of here. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. But keep listening.
So once all the camps have been built, FEMA can either at that point create a man-made disaster like 9/11, or they can wait until an actual natural disaster like another.
So man-made disaster like 9/11. Now, mind you, that's, you know, we already have something like that going on right now. The man-made disaster of, the vaccine and all those kind of things. And you got to think about the after effects of the vaccine and everybody taking, the Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. You got to think about the adverse effects that are going to happen, because there were physicians talking about within 2 to 3 years, we're going to start seeing, like dung upon the earth. I'm going to keep it very simple. Brothers know what I'm talking about, And that's a disaster. Once that happens, all these camps and martial law can be established, and all these camps can be turned on, man, like a light switch, and then you start rounding people up. There's so much that the so-called white man can do with their technology, especially with the heart machine, generating hurricanes and natural disasters, and they can control the weather now, man. They can control the weather now. All right. Keep listening.
A hurricane, earthquake, or anything comes in and destabilizes the central government. At that point, they will evacuate the president and all central all central members of his cabinet or anything of the sort, move them into bunkers, and have them declare martial law. And at that point, FEMA will get in with all the military personnel, and they'll start rounding up pre-selected Americans who were like on government watch lists, federal criminals, or anything of the sort.
Con, right there, look. Pre-selected Americans. Those on the government watch list. And we know the men of the Lord on the government watch list, man. But we also have something to look forward to because the Most High said he will raise a standard. He will raise a standard, man, which will be spiritual power in that day, man. This is Jacob's trouble. What this Edomite is talking about, right, without having a spiritual eye, he in his mind knows that this is going to happen. He might not sit here and say, yeah, they're going to round up you so-called black people. But he know deep down, you know, who are the people that have always been targeted in the land of their captivity, man? You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You think Esau is done with us? It says the devil has but a short time. He knows he has but a short time, so he's going to come down having great wrath, you know? He knows that he's trying to get his birthright back, which he would never be able to do, but he's thinking, let me go put the children of Israel back into captivity, kill as many of them as possible, put my charagma on as many as possible to try to overthrow prophecy, man. But you simple jakes, you simple niggas, man, you can't see it, man. Like these white people, all the Edomites are preparing for civil war and war, teaching their kids from the age of 5 how to shoot weapons, how to track, live off the land. But you jakes out here on your motorcycles and mopeds, worrying about the newest Jordans coming out. And every time somebody brings some knowledge to your face, you dismiss it like, nah, that can't happen. But keep listening.
And move them to the appropriate places as they need to. If members resist, they'll be killed on spot.
Because this one is deep as fuck. I got many questions. My first loophole, or my first hole inside of that, right, is if we're talking about plastic coffins. If you leave like the slight picture that I saw, right?
Yeah.
If you leave plastic just out in the weather, they only last but so years. I mean, it lasts for thousands of years, yes.
Yeah.
But in a usable state.
Look, Jake just contradicted himself. He just contradicted himself. So he knows that plastic lasts for thousands of years, right? But he's trying to have cognitive dissonance where he's trying to convince himself that the plastic, if it's been sitting out there for a couple of years, they're going to have to use it sooner than later. But then he also cutting himself at the same time because if let's say that plastic is a material that can break down really easily, you think Esau not going to hurry up and want to hurry up and use that shit? I'm not going to mass produce all these coffins to throw about maybe 5 bodies in each coffin box to let them be destroyed and not use them, man. Look, it's just the stupidity of our people.
You know,
It doesn't matter if they're going to kill someone and just throw their body in
I
there.
don't think it matters that much.
At
They're
that
gonna throw
point,
them in there regardless.
I'm just gonna put you off and I can transport.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all it comes down to.
Caskets biodegradable?
As long as it doesn't break down or anything of the sort.
If
That,
it's biodegradable, then they got to keep it.
but
I'm
what
going
I'm
to go
going
to part
tell you
2.
guys-
Salaki, Akim. Part
Biodegradable?
2.
as long as it doesn't break down or anything of the sort.
If
That
it's biodegradable, then they got to keep it.
man, could that mean they got to use that bit next year?
Yeah. We got to make this bitch work.
I don't think American citizens would fall for this. And this is what I mean. If we're talking about the military is the one that's supposed to round up folks, right? I don't think members in the military is going to hands down say, yo, I'm going to go imprison my own
So,
American
here's-
citizen.
I don't
Here's
know,
the
man.
thing.
If they
Bro,
get the red
have you
order,
thought
man,
about human race and the shit, the decisions we have made?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta think about
Have
that,
you-
man. It's
as
not
a
about
human
being
race-
mad.
Listen, do you
As a-
understand the level of mind
See,
control that you need to have?
Look at this. Trusting in thy enemy, man. Let me get that. Matter of fact, I'm already in Isaiah. Should be a faster way to do this. Isaiah 31. Slakia. It says Isaiah 31:1. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh Shemiah Shah. Did you hear that, brother? Nah, man, nigga, America, that could never happen in America. No, man, because of the military and you got listen to how he's speaking, man. He's trusting in his oppressor. He's trusting, he's believing that he does not have an enemy in America. You know, he's one of them Jakes that's like coons, man. That can't understand that the enemy is always, even though he goes crouching, being humble, you know, my man got a sword behind his back, ready to cut you, ready to stab you under your fifth rib, like King David. Esau has always had a perpetual hatred towards you, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you still sit here and you overlook it, man. Let's go back. Listen to this, man. Jake is through.
Have for this shit to happen, like
Religion.
Listen.
Religion.
When we see Hitler, that was like not a one time in history, but the type of shit that Hitler was able to pull off is because he had a whole damn country to come behind him and follow the bullshit that he was in. I don't think we can get people on board in 2022.
If you do
When a
not
lot of
have a
people have
choice, then
faith
you
God
could.
Give me a
and-
second. Give me a second to this. Here's your counter. Stalin, Mao, right now Kim Jong-un, all of these dictators at the end of the day had their countries in, had their secret police and everything of the sort. Everyone in the country knew there was bullshit and they didn't like the government or anything of the sort what was going on, but they all complied because at the end of the day, they didn't know what was going to happen and when it was that they were going to die and what they were going to be able to live.
Follow suit or die. And you were asking about who could follow someone so blindly. Look at all.
Man, pause that, man. Our people are foolish, man. Like to not see, like, look, these two white men are very, you can tell they're studied, they know their convictions, and they know exactly what they're talking about. But you got these Jakes, especially the one in the white, who can't even fathom, man. Who can't even fathom, you know, that can't even, you know what? Let me get this. Look, man. Sheesh, man. Look, man. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, and you already know what I'm getting, Akim. Verse 22, it says, "For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children. They're stupid. And they have none understanding. They have no understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge." Our people are just through, man. Look, if you're talking about, yo, man, I'll show you how to make a quick $1,000 this weekend, yo, if we go do such and such. They be like, yeah, I'm with that, yo, I can get with that. You tell them like, yo, man, in the very near future, man, you know, the government gonna come after us martial law. They're gonna round people up, put them in FEMA camps to kill them. Nah, man, I can't get down with that, man. What you talking about, man? Ain't no way America gonna go out like that, man. America ain't good. It ain't gonna happen to America. See, you trusting in Esau, you trusting in Egypt, man. And then, like he said, and then the Jake talked about how, if you listen, he's talking about different cultures, different religions, and then he also spoke about, you know, he don't see that happening because it's two different opposing parties. Well, the scriptures talk about Egyptian versus Egyptian, man. How can a house stand if their two are divided, man? Civil war is on the horizon for America. You know, people, according to Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, starting at 15, if you just read that, it goes into how, you know, for the lack of bread and food and resources, people going to be running into each other's houses, man. We got inflation at an all-time high. We got famine going out at an all-time high, and they're talking world famine, not just in certain regions, but world famine. And this Jake right here can't quite fathom it, man. He can't fathom it. All right? He's so caught up in the vain philosophies of America. He's so caught up in believing in the democracy and how America's set up, not understanding that everything was snares and traps for him alone and his people, man. Matter of fact, let me get one more precept. I'm gonna go back to that. It's the book of Colossians, chapter 2, and verse 8 right here. It says, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after a Mashiach Yahushai." You know, because the thing is, if this brother was in the scriptures, understanding prophecy, his laws, understanding who he is as a people, what his identity is on the earth, and that he was a chosen people, he would know that he would have enemies. He would know that the world is out to get him. He would know that what these white men are saying is highly plausible, if not factual. But see, he trusts in democracy. He trusts in what men of this world are saying. Man, he's trusting in the philosophies of democracy and Republican and Democrat parties, and I don't believe that will happen because he's trusting in the moral standard of men, not understanding that Esau is a vile beast, man. That his kingdom must come to end because it's the most wickedest kingdom ever erected, and nothing but wickedness can befall a kingdom that was built on blood, man. All right, let's go back.
Damn religions.
That's what I'm saying.
Christians follow the Bible.
Islam follows
real.
Islam follows the Quran to the T as well for the most part.
Yeah.
It ain't necessarily gonna be a living, breathing individual. It could just be
It can be an idea.
an idea or a concept.
And if you think Christians would not be able to mass murder themselves,
No,
Jamestown.
I'm gonna give you all this, brothers. Let's say, okay, Jacob's trouble hits. The mass killings are going to go up because of one, the lack of resources and bread and food. But you think factions are not going to be created? You think factions are not going to be created? You got to look at it like this, man. Survival of the fittest. So if we get into a point where we have barely any resources left, everybody's going to be out here raping, robbing, pillaging, and taking whatever they can take. And they're going to be creating factions or gangs, if you will. And they're going to be sticking together because you're more susceptible to live with numbers. So you're going to be seeing these white supremacist groups, these Asian supremacist groups, these Arab supremacist groups, and all these other groups coming together to make factions with themselves, to go into different neighborhoods, to rape, rob, pillage. They're going to be creating damn near their own fucking government systems. You know, it said the power is going to be in their own hand. Matter of fact, I'm going to get that. I'm going to just go get that. I'm going to just go get that. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 12. It says, 2 Kings 15:12, and it says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting in hell and with a fearful constellation. Verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And what is the perfect storm for that? Lack of resources, man. Already racial prejudices that have already been established by the so-called white man since fucking, the 1800s? Since before that, you know? It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're not going to care about the government's power. You think that these cops are going to be worried about policing? Right now, there was an article that came out how a lot of police are not driving around. They're only going to come out. They're only going to come out for certain serious crimes because the gas prices are too high. So they're not even policing right now. This is going to make things worse, wax worse and worse, where people are not going to regard the laws of the land or the kings, man. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of the pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall not have pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And this is a perfect storm for the martial law to be established, and for Esau, Satan, and his kinsmen to come in like a flood, gathering all those undesirables. Because what they want is order out of chaos. So this is actually ideal for them to allow this to happen, man. It's ideal for them to allow this to happen. But I'm going to let this play, brothers.
Yeah. Listen, true. Right. But here's what I'm saying, right? When you look at the state of the United States today,
Yeah.
right, we are so polarized. I think this time in history where you have so many mofos that is like way far left and so many dudes that's like way far right. You get
Straight division. How can a house stand if if it's divided, man?
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and we usually see the Stalins, the Hitlers, and stuff like that whenever people are closer with their ideologies in the way that they think. You get what I'm saying?
No,
to where you
all
can
of these-
easily influence a group of people.
No, all of these guys came into power through a revolution at the end of the day. They basically went in and destroyed the central government that they had.
See, they all came into power, order out of chaos. Order out of chaos. And that's what Esau is planning to do. Again, there's nothing new under the sun. But look at Jake, man. Can't even fathom it.
at the moment
Okay.
and took over.
Okay, all right. Think about it like this: when you go back to when you go back to
He's sweating, man. Please.
Yeah.
Well, he's the host. He's got to debunk all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, when you go back to World War One,
Yep.
right? Basically, just
Biodegradable.
As long as it doesn't break down
Our stuff.
Yeah.
Part 3, it's the final
when you
part.
go back to World War One,
Yep.
right? Basically, Germany got their ass whooped, right? And we was like, you know what? Fuck you, Germany. You gonna pay for this? And then we was handing out not reparations. We was handing out sanctions and all this shit, right? So their economy crippled, right?
Yeah.
So what was the one ideology that everyone could get behind in Germany? Is that they did this to us. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Hitler came in and he took that ideology and said, you know what? I'm going to fix this for you. They did this, but I'm going to figure out the reason why all of my people are going through this, right?
That goes back to what he said.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's exactly what I'm
But
saying.
we don't in the United States, we don't have that one idea because we're so
See, the United States might not have that idea, but those who have been woken up by Yahweh Shemiah Shah have that idea. Why did our people go through this? You know, it says we will wake up in the land of our captivity, man. And call Halayim Yahweh Shemiah Shah for allowing us to wake up, you know. They put that eye salve on our eyes, man, so we can actually see, man, what's going on. But the 2/3 of our people are going to be cut off and die, man, because they're so disenfranchised, you know, mentally, physically, and emotionally. They can't understand that the world is out to get them. But I'm gonna let this finish, brothers.
polarized right now. We don't have that one thing.
It ain't got to be
It ain't
one.
gotta be.
It's got to be.
It ain't
It got to be one,
It
and it
gotta be,
doesn't
bro.
have to be at this moment. It could be within. It could be within a couple of decades when it happens.
And also think if it's two ideologies, the shit's gonna work itself out, because if that's what it comes down to, and we have them trying to have this mass casualty, if it comes down to a rupture or a rapture or whatever the hell it's gonna be, obviously different religions within the United States are going to disagree. Some are going to agree. Like you just said, Christians would definitely kill for what they live by. So then you're putting religions on religions.
You have the whole medieval times, the
Crusades.
Crusades.
Crusades and all that.
You're literally dropping it in the middle of the United States, saying, "Hey, this is what's happening. This is the rapture, whatever," and we're gonna kill each other. Because one religious group is going to believe something,
The other one's gonna.
the other one's going to
completely different.
believe another, and FEMA's work's getting done fucking for them, because they're just going to be like, shit,
Like I said, factions will be created to survive. Ideologies will be at the forefront to survive. But we have the truth, man. We know that we're supposed to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. You know, during Jacob's trouble, I'm pretty sure brothers probably going to end up catching some bodies to survive, especially if you get spiritual power to get up out of something. Yeah. But we waiting on our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah and Mashiach. We waiting on our Lord and Savior, man. We not going to be out here rape, rob, pillaging. No, we're going to be like pilgrims upon the earth, man, trying to survive, man. Trusting in the Lord and having faith. But these other, like he said, man, these other ideologies and stuff are going to be out here killing for what they believe in, but not for the truth.
we got all these black coffins, just fill them the fuck up.
All right,
Do it.
now if we were supposed to do something like this, and that is what all these coffins are for, right? Do you even think the military has enough manpower to pull off such an event?
So here's the point, right? If martial law was declared, it'd be your National Guards, your reservists, everyone would be called back into play, and then you'd have your active duty personnel doing what it is that they need to do. They may not be told what it is that's going on to the fullest extent, because at the end of the day, your everyday low privates, low airmen and stuff like that, they don't get told everything that's going on. They just get told to go do their job and to shut the hell up and color.
Yep. The majority of Nazis at the time, when everything kind of started, they didn't know they were going to kill Jewish people.
So at the end of the day, with like Hitler, at the end of the day, it was your general German army who had no idea what was really going on. They were out busy on the front lines. The only people who knew what was going on at the concentration camps and then the death camps were actually Hitler and his actual SS officers, who were the ones who were running the camps.
Harsh stuff.
Yeah.
Man, that's the end of that, brothers, man. I'm gonna bring out one more preset, man. But just look how foolish Jake is. Look at that picture I paused on. Everybody laughing. You see the two white guys, they're over here being serious. But look at our people, man, laughing. Like, man, come on, man. Trusting in our enemy, trusting in the army. Say, I don't even think our army got the capacity. What do you think they're trying to get the guns off the streets for? Why do you think they're trying to take assault rifles and machine guns off of and semi-automatics off of the streets, man? What do you think that's for? What do you think the Second Amendment was for? Not to save us, not to save the population from other people, but from tyranny from the government, man. But it's all good, man. It's all good. Let me get one more preset, man. I'm gonna let this go. Sirach 12:10, it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Never trust. Who are our enemies, man? The rest of the world is our enemies, but chiefly, Esau, Edom, right? These are our enemies, man. I don't give a fuck. We in their country, man. We in their stronghold with their army. And throughout history, even our people served in the army. When have they ever treated us as such, man? Come on, man. Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and be aware of him. And beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped out. Oh, you should always keep your head on the swivel when it comes to these devils, man. You should always know what's going on. When you got a bunch of Edomites around, you should always be seeing what they doing, how they communicating, what they looking at. You should be on your head should be on a swivel, man. You should be prudent and circumspect the entire time. Like, yo, man, we got a bunch of devils around us. You know what I mean, let me move correctly, right? It says, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou have wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Right? And be pricked therewith. Remember these words. Never trust thine enemy. Right? It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? Right? Who gonna pity you, man? Because you've been fairly warned, man. Even Esau himself is warning you in this video, man. But you can't fathom it, man. Our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. All right? So Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahat, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect.